Good. Welcome, everyone, to today's case study interview. We got Joe here. He's been using the Kinetic method for about a year, a little bit more than a year now, and is going to share his transformation, where he was before and where he is now. So welcome to Joe.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joe. Started the Kinetic method in December of 2021. Learned about it from a friend of mine, colleague, who had joined and was having some good results. Personally, I was almost 240 pounds, which is the most that I'd been as a 38-year-old man, and was just like, I got to do something. I had tried keto before. I had tried, I was doing the Peloton 3 times a week. I have a gym in my garage that I was working out on and just wasn't seeing any results. And a buddy of mine had started about probably 3 or 4 months before that and had dropped close to 20 pounds in that amount of time. And I was like, man, whatever he's doing is working. So he shared a little bit about Morrow and the program, and then actually had a conference call with Morrow. He came on and talked to a bunch of us State Farm agents and kind of gave a little snippet about the program. And I just thought, this is different than anything that I've ever heard of or experienced. And so I reached out to Morrow and we talked a little bit about it. And he gave me some more information on the program and signed up. And it's probably been one of the best decisions I've made. As far as my overall health, I'm in the best shape of my life right now. I'm down to, as of this morning, it was 206 pounds. So about a 30-pound drop so far, and looking forward to probably another 20 pounds to go. So it's been good. My wife is very happy with the results. Got a lot of compliments from friends and family just after they haven't seen me in some time. And they're like, wow, you look great. And so obviously hearing that is a good feeling, and it keeps me motivated to keep going. So
It does. It reinforces the good behaviors and good changes you made and good habits you've built with those compliments around your looks, but also, I believe, your health. Like, people see not just that someone looks better, but they look healthier and more trustworthy.
yeah, definitely.
So you said when you started, you were plus minus 240 pounds, and you were trying a lot of things on your own, keto and with the Peloton. Like, did you try any other programs or diets before that aside from keto? Or was it mainly
Really,
that?
I've always eaten really healthy. I like to cook, so I cook, most of my own food. We never really eat fast food. Um, you know, we just tried to eat healthy, eat clean. Never really tried any other sorts of like diets, or like never worked with a personal trainer or anything like that. It was mostly just things that I would find, online. Hey, here's a workout regimen you can try. A lot of like, what you're doing from home, because I had my home gym, and just never really stayed consistent. I'd work out 2, maybe 3 times a week. And then during COVID, we got the Peloton, so I did that for quite a while. Didn't see a lot of results from that, and then I'd stick with something, and then I'd drop 10 pounds or something like that, and then I would fall off, and it would just come right back on. So I think another big part of this program is like just the fact that you're just aware of what you're eating, what your activity levels are, like at all times. So it's like, whereas before I'd be like, oh, I think I'm going to work out today. And right now I know Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm working out. And I know that, every day I'm getting my steps in, and every day I'm conscious about what I'm putting into my body as far as my macros and my caloric intake and things like that. Whereas before it was just like, whatever, I'm eating healthy. It's chicken and vegetables, but how much of it was I eating? At what time was I eating? And, the big thing for me was like snacks throughout the day. You think like beef jerky here, handful of nuts, there. And, when you put it all on paper and figure out what it is, it's actually a lot more than you might think. So now I've got an awareness, and I know after doing it for a year, like what my go-to meals are. If I am hungry and want a snack, what's the best snack I can have? It's going to fit within my daily macros and things like that. So it's just helpful to have like that awareness of what you need to do on a daily basis.
It does. And you've
Yeah.
automated it pretty well. You're able to stay so consistent with it, especially the last few months where you've really doubled down and cracked the 30-pound mark.
Yeah. I think it's, especially after doing it for over a year, it's just a routine, you know, it's just you after that amount of time, everything just becomes automatic and routine, and it's just your new norm, which is great because makes you feel healthier, makes you feel happier. I mean, you feel good about your decisions. It's good.
That's a plan, that it's a lifelong thing and you keep it off and you keep what you've built and don't lose it and that you lose it and keep it off and don't regain or lose the habits that you build over time.
Yeah, I've got no desire to be back up at 240.
I wouldn't either.
I was my wife the other day. I was like, man, I was so fat. How did you even like me? She's like,
What
yeah,
did she
let's
say?
not go back there. She goes,
Sorry?
let's not go back there. So
Well, she
it's good.
gets to enjoy her new
She's been
husband
really
now.
supportive. I think that's helpful too. Is she's been supportive, and uh, she eats what I eat. And if I'm like, hey, I got to go. It's 10 o'clock at night. I've got 4,500 steps to go. I'm going out on the treadmill, and she's like, go for it. Even though sometimes that's our time. When the kids are in bed and stuff. But she's been supportive, and that's been really helpful too. So
Yeah, it's always good to have a supportive environment rather than environment that you almost have to fight a little bit against or use a lot of willpower. That just makes the whole journey easier, but also more sustainable on the long run. So I'm happy
yeah.
for you there. Talking about what you said initially, you said you saw or what you heard from a friend and also on the conference call that I did, that this was different than anything you've ever done. What would you say were the main things that you said, hey, this is really new or different and I've never done it before like this?
Honestly, it seemed easier, right? So 3 workouts a week. I'm like, okay. I mean, I can do 3 workouts a week. Anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. I think now that we're further along in the program, they're a little bit longer because I think my body's able to lift, for a longer period of time. So it's about 45 minutes. And then 10,000 steps a day. I'm like, well, that's walking. Anybody can walk, right? I would go on runs or, I'm pumping on the Peloton for 45 minutes and just like by the end of it, just dead, dripping sweat and exhausted, which feels good, but it's hard on you. So I was like, I can walk. I can definitely walk and I can do 3 workouts a week, So it seemed like it was very attainable for me to, check those boxes. I'm a big box checker. So it's like, and I can do that. And then obviously, every, workout program I've, tried in the past, it's like, you're working out for an hour at a time, hour and a half if you're going to the gym. It's just more time consuming. And as a business owner, and a family man, like I'm busy. I got kids sports, and I've got a business to run and employees, and time is valuable and in short supply. So the fact that I could squeeze it into my schedule was also a plus too.
Yeah, those are good points. And what I'm hearing is really the time factor, that it's, hey, this is something that I don't have to dedicate my entire life to it, but it actually fits into my life.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. And when you heard about it the first time, would you say you were a little bit skeptical that this could work for you?
I don't know if I was skeptical. I mean, so my buddy who had signed up, we had similar lifestyles. We hung out, socially, and I felt like we were very similar in our lifestyle, and it was working for him. And we're in the same industry. Um, he's pretty disciplined with his work, and so I felt like if he can do it, I can do it. So I wasn't that skeptical. And I think part of it, I mean, you talked about it on the program or on the conference call, was like, the investment in your health. As a business owner, we invest so much in our business and in our staff and in our marketing and advertising. And, what are we investing in ourselves as far as a percentage of, our revenue or whatever? And I wasn't investing anything. And so part of it was like, you're paying for this, and you're, you know, just that fact is going to keep you more accountable. Um, and so I consider myself a rather frugal guy. So I was like, all right, if you're going to put this money out, you can't just like, not do it. So if I'm going to pay for something, I'm going to do it. And so that was also helpful, I think, in committing to the program.
Yeah, when you pay attention. When
Yeah.
it's cheap or free, then it's easier to bail out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a membership to a gym here in town. It's $25 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't go, I usually go and get my steps in when my kid goes to jujitsu there. And but I don't feel bad if I don't use it. If I don't go, I'm like, whatever. So
Yeah,
I
it
kind
doesn't
of
hurt.
an example. Yeah.
You said with the business analogy, or like you see it also as kind of a business investment when you upgrade the business owner and not just put it in outside stuff like sales and marketing, which are very, very valuable, but also upgrading yourself. Have you seen an ROI there as well, business wise, with investment in
Yeah.
your health?
I think I'm more invested in the business. I mean, I feel like, obviously I've got more energy. I feel better. So I'm here, I'm present. I'm, talking with the team. We're going through strategy and we're working on the business. And I feel like I'm more involved than I was before. One of the biggest things was, I was like, having a couple beers after work and, a glass of wine with dinner. Wake up in the morning, you're not as clear minded. Um, and so you're not working as hard at work. You're a little bit sluggish and slow. And part of what we talked about in the beginning was like, if you think about, even just having 2 beers and a glass of wine every day, that's 500-600 calories. And even though we were eating healthy, like that's what's throwing you off, right? You're just going to be tacking on that weight because it's just empty extra calories. And so, uh, in the beginning, we took a month off from alcohol, and then we kind of like almost tapered it back in. Now I have a few drinks on the weekends, and I just feel better overall, and I think that plays into it as well. So I think that along with just more energy and being healthier, feeling better every morning, like I'm waking up and just boom, alarm goes off, and I'm up and I'm ready, and my routine starts. It just prepares you to be a better business owner or employee. So yeah, business has definitely improved since we started the program.
Wonderful. It's always good when, as business owners, this is our baby, our what allows us or gives us the ability to bring home the bacon. And so, if that improves not just the vanity aspect, then it's good. We see them tied together, and not, oh, I need to sacrifice one or the other. No, they actually work hand in hand. So the better I take care of myself, the better of a businessman I become.
Yeah, definitely.
One last question for you. For anyone watching this who is out there and thinks like, oh, who's this guy online? A little bit skeptical. What are your words of advice to that man?
Are we talking about you?
Yes, like me in the program.
I
Someone
think
who's skeptical, on the fence to pull the trigger.
I think one of the biggest things for me was that you never like somebody asks a question about whether it's something to eat or a supplement or a protein or like any like concept when it comes to your health or fitness, your response is always something uh, science based, right? So it's a research paper. Hey, I found this research paper on, what one of them was like the use of ibuprofen. I mean, I used to pop ibuprofen like crazy, wake up on a Saturday morning with a little bit of headache. I'm popping 4 time. You have a little muscle ache, and you sent out that the research paper talked about ibuprofen and its effects on testosterone. It made me really think like, man, do I really need this? It's funny. I haven't had any sort of like pharmaceuticals like ibuprofen, Tylenol, anything. I used to have massive heartburn. I haven't had any no drugs that aren't like the supplements that we take that are all natural, in probably like 9 or 10 months. So anyways, like the things that, and I'm like a numbers guy, like I'm a science guy. So like, I want to see the facts behind it. I don't want to see like an opinion piece where somebody's like, trying to sell you on something, or it's just something that you see, because there's so much information out there on the web, So I appreciate that, when you're talking about, whether it's different types of protein or anything, it's very science-based, and you're showing, research that's done by scientists with, experiments and things like that. So it's very like credible when you're trying to make a point about, one thing or another. So I think that provides, credibility for your program as well. Because it's not just you and your opinion and what you think. It's like you're doing the research behind the scenes to make sure that you're giving the best advice that you can to your clients. And I really appreciate that. I think also I think that you care. I mean, I think you care about us. Like if there's times when I, have kind of falling off, right, and I'm not staying consistent, and you're like, Joe, what's going on, bud? Like, you're there to hold me accountable, and you're talking me through like, why aren't we doing this? What can we change? Is there something going on in your life? Like, it's a different kind of accountability than just being like, hey, get off your ass and like get going. It shows a little bit more care in your clients, which I think is important as well. You got a passion for this thing, and I think that's really special. It's really, I think it's why you have such a large following. There's a lot of guys in this program that believe in you and believe in the program, and it's obviously worked. I mean, you can see a lot of us who've had some serious lifestyle and health changes, and so if anybody's skeptical, I mean, watch these videos. There's a bunch of them on there. See the results. They're real. They take time. Nothing. I mean, this is a year in. And then 30 pounds is, huge for me, but there's a lot more to go. It's like, nothing happens overnight. You just got to trust the process, stick to the program, and be as consistent as possible, and even when you fall off, you just got to get back on the horse and know what you have to do every day to make that progress. So
some really good golden nuggets at the end here. Appreciate you sharing those. Good. Well, thank you so much for doing this and allowing everyone to see a little bit more behind the scenes on your journey, your transformation, which is far from done. Still some work to do, but it's been very helpful, and especially the advice at the end. I'm sure a lot of guys will appreciate that. So thank you once again for being here.
You bet, bud. Appreciate you.